this is another place. Oh, this is look at this view. How cool is this? How cool is this? This is gorgeous, is what it is. This is gorgeous. Even more gorgeous if I'm on course, you know. So, one of my favorite places to fly to. This little island. Low pass might give me a head start. Exactly. Good thinking on that one. The TDS. Yeah. Let me see here. And how long left can you plan journey? Matt, we're going over here, which is maybe another couple, maybe another 10 minutes, and then we'll be turning around and coming right back over here to Virgin Gorda, which is another 10-15 minutes flight. So we got maybe 25 minutes, somewhere around there. Frank, you should do a quick video explaining wind direction. So, 09. So the wind direction will tell you which direction the wind is coming from. Like, in other words, right now, let's see. If it says, whoops, I just turned my beacon off. If it says winds are 330, what that means is it's coming this way. It's coming from 330. If it says it's coming 090, then it's coming from 090. That is a confusing one. So when you're landing, you always want, like, let's say the winds are 060, you want to be landing that direction, like, if that makes sense. Let me know if that answered your question. I tried, but I'm not sure my explanation was helpful. But yeah, 090 means the winds are coming from 090. So if you're flying a heading of 090, you're flying into that wind. Yeah. It's a lot, there's a lot of, we tend to think of aviation as being relatively simple, given the fact that we just get in these really complex airplanes in the sim. And, it still sort of amazes me that the number of people flying, like, 777s in the sim. It's not, like, I'm a like relatively well-trained pilot in real life, and it's not easy for me, and it still kind of blows my mind that people can sort of casually do this, and so we tend to assume a lot of things, that people know a lot of things, but there is so much to learn. I love this. Now I know that this tab, or this tablet does all this fun stuff. It's really pretty cool. What I would really like to have happen right now is for my airplane to stop oscillating. That would make me happy. So in other words, this wind is 100 at 6 knots, so we're going to be landing into that wind on runway 09. This is sort of incorrect. See, that wind is 100 at 6. That this arrow should be pointing this way. But we sort of assume that people know all this stuff, and there's plenty to know about aviation, believe me. So glad to answer any questions you guys have. 5 miles out, should definitely be slowing down. Alright, and I'm going to go again, Carvey on. There's the runway, just about our 1 o'clock. This is this is a great airplane. This is the Piper Dakota. This was the local legend for one of the sim updates. You can buy it in the 2024 marketplace for like 15 bucks. It's a great airplane, made by Carenado. Really, really great airplane. Let's go visual 09er. And we're going to notch the flaps. We're going to go nose down. Some airplanes pitch up when you put flaps. Some airplanes pitch down. Usually they pitch up. I had a Cherokee that we affectionately called the Red Baron because it was red. Carpy is off now. And that one pitched down when you added flaps. And one time, this is a great story. I was so I had one of the really cool ways to do flight training is to have like a flight training buddy. Is white arc with second notch of flaps. And so me and my instructor, it was me and another student, and so what we would do is we would go out and he would do his lesson and I'd sit in the back seat and watch, and then I'd go hop in the front seat and he'd hop in the back seat and he'd watch my lesson. It's a great way to learn, sitting in the back seat of the airplane, because it just kind of takes the pressure off you and you just get to observe. But F-33 is such a great plane. But there was one time we were coming in, we were doing a short field approach practice, you know, this is during my private pilot days. And I'm going to go next notch of flaps. I'm going to go mixture some props, full forward, fuel pump is on, flaps are set. And we're way high, so I'm going to keep coming down. But so we were doing a short field landing. I was the one flying, he was in the back seat. And when we went to go from 2 notches of flaps to 3 notches of flaps, which is what full flaps in a Cherokee, I put in I pulled up the bar for full flaps, and the nose went, and so I pulled the nose
500.
So I pulled the nose up. It was just instinct. And my instructor used some very choice words to suggest perhaps that I didn't want to do that. Because I didn't get the connection at the time, but obviously you pull the nose up and you slow the airplane down, and so we were, you know, doing a short field landing already, so we were already kind of slow. And then I go yanking the nose up, you know, 500 feet off the ground. It's a really, really good way to stall it. And he went, holy shit. And it was actually one of the moments at which I realized that I knew what I was doing, because my reaction to him screaming and hollering in the airplane was, I just immediately just shoved the throttle forward and went around without even thinking about it. And that was one of the times when I was like, okay, you actually know, your instincts are correct. Because whenever you've got like whenever you're landing and something goes a little squirrely or whatever, something that you don't like, just freaking jam the throttle forward and get the heck out of there. And I did it without even thinking about it, and that's what made me feel really good about that, even though my co-student started spending less and less time in the backseat of the plane when I was flying. Because I think I scared the living crap out of him that day. Oh man. I mean, it's one of those things, like learning to fly, like you've got to make mistakes. I mean, you know, and making mistakes in airplanes can be a little bit dicey. It really can be. We're gonna head back over to Virgin Gorda. And yeah, I made a mistake that day, but hey Wilhelm, what's going on, Dave? How are you? I just saw the I just saw you in the chat there. Um, I have I've made my share of mistakes in airplanes. It's funny how clearly you can remember them too. You know, I got some good. I mean, I don't. I've never done anything really stupid. You know, I've I've, I've goofed up a few times, but never anything really stupid. All right, we'll go one notch of flaps. We'll do a short field takeoff. Trim is good. Fuel pump is on. Let me catch up with the chat here real quick. Oh, the AS-33. You know what? It was so funny because I saw that earlier and I was like, the only person I know who would fly that is you. I still have yet to try gliding in the sim, and I really want to. All right, mixture and prop full forward. Fuel pump is on. Flaps are set. Trim is good. Bring in the power. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments in the green. Release the brakes. I'll tell you about my others. That really wasn't that bad. It really wasn't that bad. 65 knots. The one thing I did that really was a screw up, and I could have quite literally ruined my day. I'll actually tell you about. I'll actually tell you about it in the context in which it could happen, or it did happen. I'm gonna bring the power back. So it was actually my first solo cross country, and this is a great view. My first solo cross country, and I was in a Piper PA-28 140 climbing out of Oneonta, New York, which is where I grew up. It is 1,000 feet. We'll go fuel pump off. And actually, I think I'm going to go 1,000 feet. I'm going to do a Hans Boone on this one. This is still high for Hans, but I'm going to do 1,000 feet. And I was leveling off at 3,000. Maybe I was leveling off at 3,500. Leveling off at 3,500 after climbing out. And I reached over to start pulling the power back after I leveled off. And I'm pulling the power back. And I'm doing the same thing right now as I did then. I'm pulling the power back. And the engine power is not coming back. I'm pulling, so I keep pulling the lever back. Power's not coming back. So I keep pulling. I keep pulling. I keep pulling.